In a world obsessed with superheroes, we often overlook the real-life guardian who literally saved the planet not with lasers or flight but with a single act of defiance that prevented the outbreak of World War III. This is not fiction. This is the story of Stanislav Petrov, the man who disobeyed orders to protect humanity. Unique insight. While millions admire scientists, generals, and peace activists, very few know that the greatest act of sacrifice in human history may have been a silent moment in a dark Soviet command center in 1983, one that bought humanity 4 more decades of peace. The sacrifice that saved the world. On September 26, 1983, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were at their peak. Just 3 weeks earlier, the Soviets had shot down Korean Airlines Flight 007, killing all 269 passengers, including Americans. The Cold War was ice cold, and one mistake could trigger a nuclear holocaust. Then came the alert. Soviet early warning systems reported 5 incoming U.S. nuclear missiles. Protocol demanded immediate retaliation. Petrov, a 44-year-old duty officer, had minutes to act. One button press. One command. And global nuclear war would ignite. The challenges he faced: blinding pressure. Every protocol, superior officer, and doctrine told him to respond with fire. Uncertainty. Petrov had no external confirmation, just a gut feeling that 5 missiles didn't make sense for a U.S. first strike. Fear of repercussion. If he was wrong, he would be blamed for failing his country. If he was right, no one might ever thank him. But Petrov made a choice. He did nothing. He reported it as a false alarm and waited. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. He was right, the system had malfunctioned, misreading sunlight reflecting off clouds as missiles. What motivated him? Petrov wasn't a pacifist or political rebel. He simply believed in thinking for himself. As he later said, "I had a funny feeling in my gut." A man sits in front of a blinking screen and has to decide whether to destroy the world. I simply couldn't. Real-world impact. Had Petrov followed protocol, the USSR would have launched thousands of warheads. The US would have responded with overwhelming force. Over 600 million people might have died in the first few hours. Civilization as we know it would have ended. Yet he was reprimanded, forced into early retirement, and lived the rest of his life in obscurity, often in poverty. He died May 19, 2017, barely recognized for what he had done. Lessons learned. Sometimes, the greatest heroism is not action, but restraint. Human judgment is still more valuable than machines. Peace is fragile and often protected by people you'll never know. Courage isn't always public. Often, it's quiet, lonely, and invisible. Systems fail, morality shouldn't. Final thought: we search for superheroes in capes and costumes. But maybe, the real ones sit in control rooms, stare at blinking red lights, and decide to trust their humanity over their orders. Stanislav Petrov didn't destroy the world when it asked him to. And for that, we owe him everything.